New York City, New York City, we back, the Big Apple, NY. The Knicks are back, Staten Mellow. This dedicated to my city, New York. Official kings in the court. Reach with a ball of hard nuts and gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground. No clown around. Catch a helmet in a minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for short. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatch a crowd. You get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove to get down. So say the joke for the clowns. And NYC we known to go a few rounds. This is a city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing it with me. New York City, sing it with me.
What up?
Tip of the Gambler, Knicks Talk Nation Radio, every Monday, 10 to 11. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Your boys are back at it again. Tips.
Yes. We back in the building once more time.
One more time. You know what I'm saying? Word up. Had a great weekend. You know what I'm saying? Sports-wise. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to lie. You know, my team did take a couple L's in other sports. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Giants. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, our Knicks, man, took an L yesterday. You know what I mean? We're going to get to a little bit of that. But it's a bigger problem that's going on in New York that I don't think that a lot of us Knicks fans really understand or feel like we need to address. You know what I'm saying? But before I get into all of that, Tips, man, you know, how was your day today, man? You know what I'm saying? Let's start off with that. Let's start off with something positive. Because I know a lot of Knicks fans going to hate me tonight, man. I'm going to have to tell the truth. You know what I mean?
My day was good.
Good?
Got a chance to do everything I needed to do.
Shout out to Tips, man. Always getting a chance to get everything out the way. You know what I mean? Word up, man. So, as we all know, the Knicks did play the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday. It was a good game. Knicks actually put up a good fight against one of the NBA's elite young teams coming up. Now, I know a lot of Knicks fans, they want to be just like these teams that built their team through the draft and got young pieces to put around them. But the only difference is that these teams drafted the right players that ended up being franchise players, which we arguably don't have. Do you agree, Tips?
Yes, I do.
Now, the score yesterday was 127-123, right? Ja Morant, who the Knicks missed by one draft pick. He went number 2 overall. Number 2 overall after Zion, and then we ended up getting R.J. Barrett, number 3, right?
Yep.
Ja Morant finished with a triple-double in the Garden. He didn't play the whole week leading up to this game, but you knew he was not going to not play at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Ja Morant had a triple-double last night, 27 points, 10 boards, and 14 dimes. And by the way, he did hit the game-winning basket.
Yes, he did.
Dylan Brooks, also a tough-nosed young player, great defender. He added 22 points, grabbed 5 rebounds, and Jaren Jackson, another lottery pick that the Grizzlies drafted, had 21 points and 5 rebounds to go along with the other 2 guys that helped lead the Memphis Grizzlies to victory. And the Knicks, of course, our prize acquisition this year, Jalen Brunson had 30 points, 9 dimes, and 5 rebounds. Not a bad performance. Not a bad performance at all. Hell of a performance from a point guard. We haven't had this type of point guard play since Stephon Marbury. You know what I'm saying? Granted, R.J. Barrett, not a bad game, not a superstar game. He had 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. But your man, Julius Randle, had 14 points, 10 boards, and 9 dimes. One assist away from a triple-double. Now, when you hear the box score, what do you think when I call those numbers off to you, Tibbs?
I feel R.J. Barrett is not playing to what he's supposed to be playing as far as his potential go this season. Yes.
So we gonna blame it on RJ.
I'm gonna talk about RJ right now,
man,
because RJ always comes alive after the All-Star break. That he have a little 15 games when he do 25 and better. He can't be doing that throughout the whole season.
Is it RJ though? I mean, I get what you're saying, and I get where you're coming from because he's historically gotten better during the second half of the season. But I blame the coach, man. I blame Thibbs. Thibbs isn't getting the best out of his players. You know what I mean? And honestly,
need to go.
And then we're gonna get to that. But
he need to go.
Jalen Brunson is doing his part as a point guard. His point guard plays efficiently.
Jalen Brunson is not a superstar.
That's my whole point, and that's what I'm getting at. You got guys.
They trying to make him a superstar, and he's not that.
This is what I mean. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, the Knicks don't have problems scoring the basketball." It's not the point of scoring the basketball. It's a point of having somebody that could score the basketball at will when you need them to score points. Anybody can pad the stats, and I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is padding stats. Jalen Brunson is working hard out there. He's doing his numbers. He's facilitating. He's scoring tough baskets. He, like you said, it's like they're trying to make him the superstar that he's not. He's not a superstar. He's a great player. He's a hell of a player. He's not an all-star in the East. He's not an all-star in the West, but he's a serviceable point guard. The Knicks have a point guard. Now, it keeps going back to what you said. We don't have a superstar, and that's what the Knicks need, and that's why I'm saying it's great that we got a decent team right now, but it serves better for the team to lose as many games as possible to get a young star coming from college or coming from overseas or wherever, because nobody in the league is going to help the Knicks get any better. And they're not giving anybody no superstars while we ask for it.
I was reading something today.
Let's go. Talk about it.
And they was talking about how quickly on the trading block,
Derrick
Rose on the trading block, and they were trying to get a first round pick for it,
which is not going to happen.
Quickly, that ain't gonna happen. Derrick Rose definitely ain't gonna happen. He may be a second round pick, but I doubt it'll be a first round pick. And quickly gonna have to be with somebody for even a team to.
You got to package him.
Yeah, you would have to package him. He ain't going by himself.
You got to package him. He's not going by himself. And granted, neither of them can field a first round pick. Quickly was a second round pick at best. So why would anybody give up first round talent for a second round draft pick? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Now, just to go back to the numbers of yesterday's game, which shows you exactly what, and it's going to bring facts to exactly what we're talking about. Field goal percentage. The Knicks shot 51% from the field. They shot the ball 87 times, connected on 44 attempts. The Memphis Grizzlies shot 48% from the field. They shot the ball 95 times, connected on 46 attempts. 3-point range. This is where the Knicks lost the game. They attempted 33 pointers. They connected on 10 at a 33% rate. The Grizzlies, slightly better, not slightly, 5 percentage points better, shot 38% from 3-point range, 12 for 32 from downtown. That was the deciding factor, not really. Free throw percentage. The Knicks shot 83% from the line. The Grizzlies shot 74% from the line. Turnovers. The Knicks only had 8 turnovers. The Grizzlies had 10 turnovers. Assists. The Grizzlies led the Knicks by 2 with 32, and the Knicks had 30. Rebounds. We also lost the battle of rebounds. They rebound the ball. They got 50 rebounds. The Knicks had 42 rebounds. Block shots, the Knicks dominated with 7 to the Grizzlies 2. And as far as the steals were concerned, the Grizzlies stole the ball 4 times, the Knicks stole the ball 3 times. Now, out of every statistical category that I just listed, the Knicks only lost at the 3-point line and on the rebounds. But the difference in the game was Ja Morant. At the end of the day, he's a young phenom, superstar, and he closed the game out as superstar players do. Not saying, and it's no slight against Julius Randle, he's not a superstar. He's a good player. He's not even an all-star this year. If you look at all the people that's in the East, He's not making an all-star team.
No.
That season, the year before last, was an anomaly. It's not going to happen again. Chances are that was his best season that he'll ever have for the rest of his career. He knew that the bag was on the line. He performed and got his bag. But
they got to the playoffs that year, though.
They got to the playoffs that year.
It was the 4th seed that year.
Yes, and they got swept in the first round.
Yeah, well,
by the Atlanta Hawks team.
That was the 5th seed.
That was a 5th seed, led by Trae Young, who I ain't going to say he's a one-dimensional player because he can score the basketball and he also passes, but
that was a team effort.
That was a team effort, and they got outcoached by Nate McMillan. Tibbs got outcoached by Nate McMillan. That's why the heat has been on Tibbs ever since that day. You know what I'm saying? I haven't looked back since then to say that I'll give Tibbs another chance. I just don't think that
Tibbs
the
management goes either way with Tibbs right now.
And I heard that. Worldwide West didn't want Tibbs to come back.
Worldwide West don't want Tibbs back.
Allegedly.
But the GM president, the president and the GM want Tibbs back.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And that's a problem because it's politics in that as well, because he was represented by them once upon a time. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And sometimes those relationships don't work in today's NBA because everybody got relationships. You know what I'm saying?
How about
look at Johnny Bryant. He got a relationship with Damian Lillard. Everybody swore up and down Dame Lillard was coming to the Knicks. You know what I mean?
No time soon.
Donovan Mitchell, his father plays for the Mets. His father's part of the Mets organization. That didn't happen. The year before that, Royale Ivey was on the Knicks roster as an assistant coach. Him and KD go way back to Texas. Everybody swore up and down that Royale was going to help bring KD to the Garden. That didn't happen. So my point is that even with this Brunson situation, you bring in Rick Brunson, it's obvious that you brought him in so that you can lure his son here to the Knicks. So the Knicks got a lot of work to do, man, as far as getting players and as far as getting a coach that the players can actually respect and play for, because after Tibbs, like, who is it? Who can you trust to come here, galvanize the fan base, and then bring the Knicks to another level? Who do you see out there that can possibly do that, Tibbs?
They would have to go young.
But young with who? Like, who's a young coach out there that makes you say, you know what, if the Knicks get him, we in business?
I was thinking about Johnny Bryant as New York.
Johnny Bryant?
Yes.
What made him so special?
Because he made Donovan Mitchell in Utah become the superstar that he is.
And you know what? And we just spoke about Dame Lillard. That was Dame Lillard's mentor at one point in time.
So keep an eye on that one.
Absolutely. But honestly, I think that I don't think that they're gonna go younger. I think that they're gonna go with somebody that can relate to the young players. And honestly, the way that everything is set up, right now, if I had to put my money on it, now first let me give you my wish list, right? I wish that the Knicks would go out and get Mark Jackson.
That ain't happening.
It probably won't happen.
That won't happen.
It's a good chance it won't happen, right? That's my wish. Now, controversy would also help a little bit. So I would say go after Udoka. He's a proven young coach that actually turned the Boston Celtics around, or he just got lucky and inherited Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
He got lucky and inherited.
He got unlucky and inherited them, right?
All right. It's been the same team. They've been together for the last 4 years.
Absolutely. Now, who I would bet my money on? Is the Knicks bringing in Coach Cal. Why?
Calipari?
Yes. Why?
I don't think he's
Because
ready to go back to the NBA.
nah, you say that, but all the tea leaves line up. CAA, World Wide West, Leon Rose, they all have this relationship already, and he was when they
assistant to be
exactly
who will be his assistant.
Now he'll probably bring his staff that he has in college. You know what I'm saying? Or a couple of his former players that play with him that are assistants on other teams right now. You know what I mean? It's a lot of Kentucky players that's playing on the sidelines as assistant coaches for all of these other teams that's winning right now. One of them is in San Antonio, I believe. Keith Bogans. Yeah, he's one that I believe Thibbs will probably bring in that's young that can relate to these players. But Calipari, I believe, is the wild card. Why? Because the Kentucky to New York pipeline we had going on for a minute as well. And his former ties to the Knicks organization back in the days as well. So I really think that if they do go young or go to somebody that can relate to the young players and coach today's game, it got to be Calipari because he's still recruiting great players in Kentucky. You know what I mean? He got this finger on the pulse of how these young players think nowadays. I think that the game has passed Coach Thibbs along, man. All that running players into the ground, he don't even play his man Derrick Rose anymore.
He gave him minutes yesterday. Remember, he was hurt, so he just came off that injury, so he played a few minutes yesterday.
But don't you think that's a problem, though? You moved heaven and hell to get Derrick Rose to re-sign here.
And Derrick Rose ain't what he used to be.
He's in the best shape of his life.
But he's not what he used to be. He's not going to go out there and give you 15.
Why not? They ain't giving him the minutes, the consistent minutes to do it. He's not in the rhythm.
Because he got to figure out the players that he got to figure out a lineup. 10 players, 8 players, 7 players.
But Thibbs, this is basically the same team from last year that he had that had the energy off the bench. Him, Quickly, Toppin.
It's all on Thibbs.
It's Thibbs. It's Thibbs and his system, man. At the end of the day, he's not doing the right thing by the team, man. The inconsistent lineups, Quentin Grimes back now. Cam Reddish plays sparingly, or Derrick Rose doesn't play at all. You still running Quickly out there to be this point guard that he's not. You know what I mean? All of that stuff factors into why the team is up and down. Julius Randle, I can clearly tell that he's not really appreciative.
His mind is not in it.
Yeah, his mind isn't in it. He's ready to move on.
But this is all stemmed from last season when he wasn't coming into the huddles and things of that nature.
He's still not doing it.
Well,
at times.
Well, there it is. That's your coach. That's your coach for that. Hello, New York Knicks fans. Thibbs must go.
Yeah. We got to rewind that. Say it again.
Hello, Knicks fans. Thibbs must go.
Yeah, Thibbs got to go, man. I think it's about that time that they move on. I think that they don't need to win any more games. Yeah, I'm saying it as a Knicks fan. It'll benefit the team.
Pack it up, Thibbs.
Yeah, it'll benefit the team. Now, by losing to win, you're doing two things. You're improving your chances to get a young superstar, a superstar player, the more ping pong balls we get. And then you're not moving none of the young core that you have to bring a superstar player here, because what's the first thing everybody was asking for Donovan Mitchell? They wanted all of our young pieces that actually is doing good. They wanted Toppin. They wanted Grimes. They wanted RJ. They wanted a slew of picks.
Yep.
Why go through all of that when at the end of the day you can afford to lose this season? Have all of your picks, and then you can wheel and deal on draft day to bring in the veteran players that can help you make a difference when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand why they're trying to win games. Like, we got Jalen Brunson already. We got a point guard that's serviceable. You know what I mean? We don't need to go out there, get another point guard or look in the draft for a point guard. We need a solid, bona fide superstar player that's going to be able to score baskets at will. I remember last week we was talking about a lot of the rumors and a lot of trades that we would like to see here.
Of course.
You know, like you said earlier, Derrick Rose and Quickly are being shopped. You know, they're not bringing back a first-round pick. That's not happening. Now, another interesting trade that I did see that once upon a time I was feeling But now I'm like, I don't know because it don't make any sense. Is the Lakers are interested in trading Russell Westbrook to the Knicks? Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Now, would I take Russell Westbrook on the Knicks? Not in the trade. Not in the trade. I'm not trading anything of value for him. The only way, and I'll take that back.
What is he going to do in the year?
I think that he'll bring a little bit more excitement to the team. I think that he'll be re-energized coming into the New York market, getting a second chance to be an impact player. But the only problem is that we already have Jalen Brunson here. So adding to Russell Westbrook, unless he's going to come in and play the role of the two, which I don't think will work for him because he's used to having the ball in his hand, and this is the reason why he's struggling with the Lakers, because he can't mesh with LeBron James on the court. It won't be a good fit. Last year, I would have took Russell Westbrook in a heartbeat. Now, the good thing about taking him, and this supports my tanking theory, take him. He has what? He's owed $40 million this year, and I think next year is his last year of his contract. Julius Randle read up for $150 million. So we owe Julius Randle for at least the next 3 to 4 years. Bringing in a guy like Russell Westbrook and shipping out the Julius Randle in the trade to the Lakers will work for us because now we rid ourselves of Julius Randle's money down the line.
We still took on Westbrook money.
No, but like I said, his money comes off the books next year. So we're paying what, $44 million? Next year, we'll pay the remainder of his salary this year, and I think it's $44 million next year. Then his salary is off the books. Now we got a clean slate. We got all of our young pieces in place because all the Lakers are really going to want, and all they can really truthfully get for Russell Westbrook is draft picks right now, and it's going to have to be a salary dump. So why not add somebody like a Julius Randle who's not happy here right now? You know what I mean? He's not going to survive in the New York spotlight, especially if the team underperforms this year. He's going to get a lot of pressure, and this is going to force him to want to leave New York just like it did last year. So I think it'd be best if the Knicks can find a way to package him to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook, if that's the route that we're going to take. Because, again, I'm with the Knicks losing as many games as possible this year to get as many ping pong balls as possible. But see, then we're going to always be in the same place, like we're going to be in a hamster wheel, running back and forth and running in the same place, kid.
Common denominator with the Knicks, man. Common denominator with the Knicks.
What's that?
Bad management. It's been that way for years. And now we still reaping what Phil Jackson and all these other little corny GMs did throughout the years. Bad salaries, take on bad contracts. You keep players forever. No need, you know?
So I'm going to say this. I'm going to give a little pushback. I don't think that Leon Rose is that bad. I just think that nobody wants to help the Knicks. Danny Ainge knew that Donovan Mitchell wanted to come here. Danny Ainge also knew that the Knicks had everything that they needed and wanted as far as picks, young players, and salary cap space.
But he don't like New York.
Exactly. He didn't want to help the Knicks, and that's the problem. Like, I think a lot of teams in the NBA fear the Knicks being good because they get so much publicity being a bad organization.
A lot of the GMs that was for the Knicks had bad relationships through other teams. That's why we going through what we're going through right now. It dates back all the way to Isaiah Thomas. Bad relationships. Him and Danny Ainge never used to like each other.
On the court. And I don't like blaming Zeke because I think Zeke got dealt the raw hand. We got to remember, man, Isaiah Thomas came in here after Scott Layden destroyed the Knicks.
Of course.
Scott Layden destroyed the Knicks, and people fail to bring his name up whenever we talk about bad GMs that destroyed the team.
Bad management.
It was that was horrible management, and Isaiah came in at the wrong time. But look at what Isaiah, like since we on this topic, Look at what Isaiah was able to bring together with all of them. Remember, we had guys like Clarence Weatherspoon, Travis Knight, Howard Isley, Shandon Anderson,
Mike Sweeney,
Michael Sweetney.
What's the other one that got shot in the
Vin
leg in the strip
Baker.
club? What's the dude that got shot in the strip club?
Oh,
What's his name? What's his name?
Man.
What's that dude?
Willie Anderson.
What's
Got
his
shot in
name?
the night. I don't remember which one it is, but the Knicks had a bunch of guys that nobody wanted. What Isaiah had to do was flip those bums along with draft picks to get players that can actually hoop and play basketball. And you got to remember, back then, Dolan wasn't with the whole tanking thing. He wanted to win now because he wanted to keep butts in those seats at the Garden. So what did Isaiah do? You had to break a couple of eggs and make an omelet. His first transaction was to what? Bring in a point guard. He brought in New York City's finest, Stephon Marbury, at the time, who came here in the prime of his career. He was averaging 20 and 10 per game when he was in San Antonio, Minnesota. When he was with Phoenix and Minnesota. Great pickup. He brought him along here with Tim Thomas. I'll never forget that because the Knicks made to the playoffs that first year that they was here, and the Nets triple team Stephon Marbury the whole game, the whole series, and the Knicks wasn't able to do anything.
Nothing.
They did nothing. Then, after that, what did he do in the next offseason? He brought in Jamal Crawford. Now, a backcourt of Jamal Crawford and Stephon Marbury in their prime?
And a year later, he was gone.
Who?
Wasn't Crawford going a year
No.
later after that?
Crawford played about 3-4 years with the Knicks.
It was 3 years, and then he went west.
He went west because that's when the team started tearing everything down.
Right.
He brought in Quentin Richardson at the time. Q Richardson was not a bad pickup.
No,
He
was doing work over there in Phoenix.
Salute to Know the Lads. We see you. And somebody say we had Clee Anthony early.
Early.
Clee Anthony early. Yes.
Early.
Shout out to that Facebook user. Yes. Word up. So, shout out to Know the Lads. He said Ali left the show for Vlad TV. I guess so, man. I don't know. Word up.
But
anyhow, so the Knicks, they brought in Quentin Richardson. After that, they made the big move. They signed Eddie Curry, who at the time was on his ones and twos. He was doing well in Chicago. Him and Tyson Chandler both came in the same year. I remember that. Eddie Curry actually did well.
Hurt too.
He got hurt. And then what derailed Eddie Curry here in New York was the fact that people don't talk about it enough too. Remember, they kidnapped his baby moms. And I think they killed his kid.
Yes.
Or something like that in Chicago. I think it was either his kid or his baby moms ended up getting killed, or both of them ended up getting killed.
And he ended up going to Miami and getting a ring.
And then he ended up going to Miami and getting a ring. But before that, you had him, and then they made a big trade and brought in Zach Randolph. Now, that's a hell of a starting lineup. You got Jamal Crawford, Stephon Marbury, Quentin Richardson, Zach Randolph, and Eddie Curry. Isaiah changed him, and he transformed a team full of bums to a team full of young studs that can actually play basketball. The problem was he didn't have the right coach. Who was the coach back then? Was it Don Chaney? No, he brought in Lenny Wilkins.
And what was the other black guy?
He brought in Lenny Wilkins, Don Chaney, Herb Williams, and then they eventually said, you know what, Isaiah, you put this team together.
You coach him.
You coach him. You know what I'm saying? And then everything fell apart after that. You know what I mean? And it just is what it is, you know?
Pretty much.
It is what it is after that. So Isaiah got a bad rap for turning. He got a bunch of dried up lemons, and he made some lemonade out of them dried up lemons that he had. You know what I'm saying? And he don't get enough credit for that. Then in comes Donnie Walsh that did what anybody could have did.
Of course.
Unloaded all the star players that he brought in, got some value for him, and so-called rebuilt. But what was Donnie Walsh's downfall?
Carmelo.
No, man, no tips. Y'all ain't gonna do this to my man Melo. Donnie Walsh's downfall was his drafting. He drafted Jordan Hill and Danilo Gallinari. We could have had Drew. We could have had Drew Holiday. We could have had at the time Eric Gordon when he was in his prime. He was good. They passed up on Ty Lawson. They passed up on a lot of good players for Jordan Hill and Danilo Gallinari.
Gallinari is still in the league. Jordan Hill.
Gallinari's in the league doing what though?
Riding the pine and
exactly
playing 10 minutes, 15 minutes a game.
And still getting hurt every other year. You know what I mean? Like
Jordan Hill ain't even in the league no more. It's been 5-6 years since Jordan Hill been in the league.
But this is my point. This is the guys that Donnie Walsh drafted. He sabotaged the Knicks too, coming from Indiana. Why would you hire a rival to come and destroy your team? That's what Dolan did. Hire Donnie Walsh, messed it up. I don't think LeBron ever really wanted to come here, but they said he went to the meeting with LeBron James in a wheelchair looking crazy. LeBron like, man, I'm not jacking y'all right now. Like, I'm not coming here and signing here with y'all. Like, hell no. So Donnie Walsh, they give him a lot of credit for doing the obvious. Get rid of all the valuable players that we get and get draft picks.
Yeah, get rid of them.
I mean, who wouldn't give you a couple draft picks for a guy like Jamal Crawford, who was the sixth man of the year, ever since he left the Knicks?
Ever since he left.
You know what I mean? Who wouldn't? Well, I think that they let Marbury walk and got nothing for him. Mm-mm. They took his confidence from him. He went to Boston, was never the same, and then 2-3 championships later in China, got his own statue.
How about that?
You know what I mean?
And his own signature shoe.
Facts.
Because I'm quite sure some fans out there still have them Starberries.
Yeah? For real. For real, for real. Shout out to my man Jim. I see the word, man. Oh, we got a caller.
Oh, yes.
We definitely got a caller. Bars and Hoops Radio. Who's this? Yo. Talk about it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. No technical difficulties. Yes, talk to us. 3D, what's up, champ? Talk about it. Let's go. That's a fact. Yes. Fact. Yes, he was. Facts. Facts. Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
UPS.
Donnie Walsh put him in, I believe. Facts. Exactly. That's a fact. Telling you, we had Ty Lawson. That's a fact.
Of course.
That's a fact.
Because one point in time of the year, both those teams used to have the money to get all them free agents or big market names, quote unquote, to come play in these big market stadiums. They didn't rely on none of their drafts. They would send the draft picks other places
because they had the talent on the team that wouldn't score a lottery pick. That's why I'm saying now, like, the Knicks having a successful season now is like running in a hamster wheel. Like, you're going to have the successful season, but you still going to have a problem of not having a superstar player. That's what they missing right now. They need somebody that they can go to and get a bucket at any time. Scoring ain't a problem. Jalen Brunson had 30 last night, and they still lost. R.J. Barrett had 22, and they still lost. You know what I mean?
Defense.
Fact. Exactly. And we spoke about that on Friday. That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah. That changed the game.
That changed the
Miami,
game. Like Miami.
that changed the game. That changed the game. For real. And Houston. You know what I'm saying? So 3, if they move on from Thibbs, man, who you think they should actually look after and go after? I dropped the name earlier, but I just want to hear what you say before I say it to you. Fact. Factory. Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes.
Fact. That's a fact.
Especially if you coming from a college team where they told you the superstar of the team, you go nut, and then you got to come play a team concept basketball.
That's a fact. So here was my theory, right? 3, I said exactly what you said. They need a coach that can identify with today's players, right? Now,
Johnny
the person
Bryant.
Forget Johnny Bryant. They next coach is not on their roster right now. The name that I threw out there that kind of fits that bill is Coach Cal. And they've been floating his name around ever since Leon Rose got here and Wild Wild West. And I think it makes all the sense in the world because he has the pulse of these young kids nowadays. He's in tune with the way that today's game is played. So why not bring him to the forefront here and let him do his thing? Like, at the end of the day, Leon Rose is the placeholder right now. Cal wanted to have the creativity and the control over the player movement and players. And I think that if they bring him in here, they'll give him the autonomy to do what he needs to do. And I think it'll really help the Knicks out because he has the pulse on these young players and they got nothing but young talent on this team. And of course, they're going to have to go out and draft better as well, like you said earlier as well, 3. What you think about Coach Cal? Let's go. Let's go.
How about
Facts. Facts.
that's why
Yeah. Facts. Facts.
Of course not.
That's a fact. Wow. Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. It's a whole fact. So he don't agree with Coach Cal. Other than that, I don't know who else is out there, man. I want Mark Jackson, but like you said, it probably won't happen because of politics. But I don't know. Who's that? You think Kenny Smith gonna get a shot? I wanted him to be the next GM at one point in time, you know. And he asked you for the next GM position at one point in time. Yeah.
How you feel about him coaching?
Shout out to three, man. He dropped the bomb. I like Kenny Smith, man. I like that. I like that name. I think that it'll hype the city up. You know what I mean? But if you bring a Kenny Smith in, you know off the rip, he's bringing Mark Jackson in. Hey, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. Shout out to three, man. Always giving us some basketball gems, man. Word up, man. Three, tell them about no question, man. Tell them about the show we got coming up, man. The new year, man. Let everybody know what it is, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Word up, man. Shout out to 3D. Always on the check and always showing love and support, man. Three, we appreciate you, man. We got about 15 minutes left in the show, man. We gonna wrap. All right, bro. Good looking on the call, you heard? All right.
Easy.
So that's interesting, man. Like, listen, man. Kenny Smith. That's definitely somebody I would definitely be happy to hear coming in. I know a lot of Knicks fans like, oh nah, we tired of all the inexperienced guys. We need somebody that's out there, but it ain't nobody really out there that's available, that's willing to come here and take on this battle at New York. You know what I'm saying? This ain't an easy task to come in, and you need somebody that understands the city, understands the players, and understands how to maneuver out here in New York to get it done and how to deal with adversity, man. A lot of these guys can't deal with it, man. That's why most of your players, your favorite players, don't want to come here. And this is why most of those big time free agents don't even want to step foot here. You know what I mean? Last person that stepped foot in the New York area and embraced it was Carmelo Anthony, man. Right now, he doesn't have a job. And I think it's a shame, man. He should be on New York right now to retire this shit.
Carmelo came in the trade, but the one who really embraced it as a free agent was Stoudemire.
He embraced that money. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck.
Free agent.
Let's keep it a buck.
He was a free agent.
He only came here because nobody else wanted to give him that bag.
Who was the last big free agent to come to New York?
I mean, like I said, it was him because he wanted the bag. Phoenix wasn't willing to give him that money without that contract being insured because of his needs. Well, and he said, all right.
Well, he found the fountain of youth.
He did.
And him and Raymond Felton, they was running into the playoffs that year. And if they didn't do that trade for Carmelo, they might have would have did something that year.
Hell no,
but
nigga.
We ain't talking about the cold wooders and the shooters.
No, hell no and nah.
The man was going to come at the end of the season regardless.
Yo, nah, man. Let me tell you something, man. Stoudemire, he was all right for that year and a half until a real player stepped in the floor
and burnt him out. And then they burnt him out. And the Knicks burnt him out.
He was like, damn, this nigga light is brighter than mine. It's like, nah, we can't have that. Let me sabotage the season. Let me hurt my back on the layup line in Boston. Let's see if your superstar. Let's see if your superstar can carry us past Boston. Then he punched a fire extinguisher in Miami. I never forgave Stoudemire for sabotaging the Knicks, man. He came here for the bag. He got the bag, and he started rubbing it in the fans' face at the end, man, taking wine baths and, you know what I'm saying, all this other nonsense. You know, he went to the big man camp with Hakeem. I give him that. He polished his game, got a little better, got some post moves. But then, you know, after that, Melo came, and then he got a little jealous, man. Got a little jelly, and that was it, man. He sabotaged the Knicks' career, man. Sabotaged his career as a Knick and sabotaged the Knicks' chances of winning the championship. And then Phil Jackson came and put the icing on top. Word up, man. What was the
bad management?
What was it? Grunwald. He
bad management.
Gave up a number 1 draft pick, first round draft pick for Bargnani.
Yeah, how about that?
When we could have got Kyle Lowry at the time, man. A lot of boneheaded moves by the front office.
That was on the
man.
GM. That was on the owner. Yes. The owner didn't want Lowry in New York.
Man. So, you know, but let's look ahead to the upcoming schedule, man. So we got back-to-backs this week, starting tomorrow at Detroit. It seems like we playing Detroit every other day, right?
We getting rid of Detroit.
We gonna clean Detroit up.
We're gonna clean Detroit up. So now we're gonna have all the other teams.
It's at Detroit now.
Yeah.
So you anticipate the Knicks cleaning Detroit up?
Yeah, they're gonna win that game.
Okay. And then at home we got Milwaukee.
Lost.
And then after that we don't play until Saturday. You know what I mean? So
they could probably beat Milwaukee in New York because they did it last year and turned around and played a home and home with Milwaukee last year. Beat them in the Garden and lost in Milwaukee.
Listen, Tips. It's wishful thinking, man. Giannis is on a totally different level and he's on a whole nother mission, man. I'm not saying that the Knicks can't do it. I just hope that they don't do it. I'm telling you, man, I'm tired of just being mediocre, man. I'm tired of us not having a player to the ilk of Ewing.
Well, you might need to send an email to the Knicks ownership and let them know how you feel, man.
I think some of the players already tuned Thibbs out. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's already started. Like, you know what I mean? The players already tuned the coach out. Derrick Rose, who was his rider, who's supposed to be the veteran, that's supposed to be speaking to the youth for you, even questioned your moves. Like, I don't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? I'm down to my draft weight, 190-something pounds.
You're athletic.
What I really think happened with D Rose, and I think I mentioned to you before, I think him going on that $1 million worth of game. My Expert Opinion podcast, and I ain't afraid to drop a name or two, man. Shout out to everybody out there in the podcast world doing their thing. But going on Mav Hoffa's podcast and getting in depth and in detail to his life outside of basketball, I think that rubbed a few heads in the PR department the wrong way for the Knicks. And in turn, I think that Thibbs is kind of pumping the brakes on him because I don't understand how they went so hard to bring him back to New York under contract, and they relied so heavy on him last year to now this year he's in the best shape of his life. You asked him to come back in the best shape of his life, and now you don't play him like that? Don't add up to me. What you think about that?
Because Thibbs is still trying to figure out the starting five as well as the bench players.
How is he still trying to figure out who the starting five is? Like, you had these players.
Prime example. 5 games ago, you had Radish as your starting small forward.
But that was
5 games later, you got Quentin Grimes as your 2 guard.
But that was due to the fact that Grimes was hurt, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why he gave Reddish.
So you can't put Grimes and Reddish on the court at the same time.
No, absolutely not.
So you would have to put somebody out there to start, and then you have to have somebody some offense coming off the bench. So which one would you want? You want Reddish coming off the bench to do the offense, or you want Grimes to come off the bench to do the offense?
I would definitely want Reddish to come off the bench because he's more of a freestyle
2/3 player.
Yeah, he's not,
and he guards the perimeter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's not a guy that you can put into a real structured style of offense and he'll flourish. He needs to kind of have the green light off the bench, sort of like what they're doing with Russell Westbrook in LA. Let him just run free willy-nilly off the bench and get his. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem that I think, and 3 touched on this, is like when we mentioned Marbury, they didn't put any shooters around him. You know what I mean? And this is what the Knicks' problem is right now. The best shooter that you have is glued to the bench right now because you so-called say he doesn't play defense.
But you gave bags to other players. The other players should be your scorers too.
But they're not shooters. They're not 3-point shooters, and that's what the Knicks is really lacking right now. It's like a real perimeter threat.
I got a question for you.
Let's go.
In 5 years, you think R.J. Barrett's still going to be slashing to the hole, or he going to be shooting more? In 5 years. Because he's been in the league for 3 years now, right? Going on 4?
It's 4. This is 4th year.
This is 4th year? So we say 5 years. That'll be that'll be his 9th going into his 10th season. You think he'll still be athletic going to the hole, or he'll be shooting more?
He might not even be in the NBA, to be honest with you. I mean, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
He's talented. He
still has talent.
He has talent.
But he's just not number 3 overall talent. So to answer your question, I don't believe that his game is going to change. That's been his whole game since he was in college and in high school. You know what I mean? He was always, even at Duke, he was always that fast break guy that gets the ball, like how James Harden was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the basket, finishing through contact, and one.
But over the years, James Harden worked on that 3. He got that 3 down pat.
Yes. So to answer your question, I believe that RJ is still going to be the same player. And not for nothing, his numbers are almost identical as to what they were last year. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that he hasn't taken that next step. He hasn't turned into that superstar that we're lacking right now. Number 3 overall pick should be dominant. You know what I'm saying?
So whose fault is that? Because, the coach is supposed to bring the best out of the players.
It's definitely the coaching staff. He's gotten better, but I just don't think that they're utilizing him to the best of his ability. Just like they don't utilize Obi Toppin to the best of his ability. Obi Toppin doesn't need the basketball in his hands to be effective. But yet, you keep him glued to the bench because of the fact you got an obligation to play Julius Randle because you paid him the bag. Like, when it gets to that level of politics, then it ain't about basketball no more. It ain't about basketball anymore. It's been many nights where Obi Toppin has come into the game, and once he gets on a fast break, one dunk, he got the whole garden lit. The team feeds off his energy. He makes one bad decision, Coach Thibbs pulls and puts Julius Randle back in. That's on the coach. You're not allowing your players to play to their strengths, and you're not giving them an opportunity for them to get their confidence up and gel as a team. When you constantly moving players in and out of the rotation is erratic, so what do you think the team play is going to be? Erratic. And this is why the Knicks can't string together a bunch of wins like they did last year. We overachieved. What was it, last year or the year before that? The year before that, we overachieved because we beat teams that nobody expected us to beat because we played team basketball. On top of the fact that Julius Randle played out of his mind because he knew he had a bag to play for. You know what I mean? This year, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Thibbs he coached a hell of a game that first year he came. After that, the league adjusted to him, and the players got adjusted to his style of play, and he's burning guys out, and they're quitting on him. You know what I'm saying? I just really think that I wouldn't even say fire him now. You might as well keep him. Let him finish out the season because you don't want to pay another coach.
2 years ago when the Knicks went to the playoffs, you know, they relied on the bench heavy. They relied on that bench heavy.
Yes.
The bench got the Knicks to the playoffs that year. The following year, the bench didn't have that same spark and energy as they did the year before that. Now, this is year 3.
Yes.
You try to mix and mingle your team to try to figure who plays well with each other, who don't play well with each other. And sometimes those concepts are not working for the team because look at the record.
Yeah.
No.
It's not.
A prime example, the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
And I go back to them because they did made 3 trades this past offseason. Got rid of Donovan Mitchell, went to Cleveland.
Wow.
Gobert went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And there was another trade with the Lakers, right? If I'm not mistaken, draft picks or something like that.
Yes.
Something like that to that effect.
For Horton Tucker. Yep.
For Horton Tucker.
Yep.
Yes. So that was the 3 trades. These is a bunch of players that will ride the pine for some teams.
That's a fact.
But they're playing well together.
Kelly Olynyk. Yep.
After 1 year.
Kelly Olynyk, Colin Sexton.
Marketing been on 3-4 teams.
Jordan Clarkson,
you know, and they have a winning record. So my thing is, Thibbs need to go.
Yeah,
Thibbs need to go.
And shout out to the Facebook user that said, "Here's a list of names that the Knicks passed on when they drafted R.J. Barrett: Darius Garland, Jordan Poole, and Tyler Hero."
Yeah. Duncan Robinson too.
Duncan the hell no, get Duncan Robinson out of there. I ain't gonna put Duncan Robinson.
No, I'm just saying these are players, but he was doing he did his job.
Yes.
You know, he do his job on Miami.
Yes.
You know, you put them in a position to win, they're gonna win.
That's a fact.
Or play their strengths.
That's a fact.
You know?
Well, you know, man, look, man, we come to the end of another show, Tips, man. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks in a row, man. The Knicks do play tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Detroit. You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen? The Pistons actually play well at home. You know, Jaden Ivey is actually playing better. You know, Cade Cunningham is going to show up to play. Shout out to Hamidou Diallo. You know, he's coming off the bench doing what he do. Shout out to Left Rack. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody that tuned in today, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in live
everybody who
on
tuned
Facebook.
In.
Shout out to everybody that tuned in on YouTube. And shout out to everybody that tuned in live on
Thank you for listening.
Radio. Make sure you tune in next week. Same time, same channel. Steelsdagreat. Tip of the Gambler.
Yeah.
We are out. Until next week.
Peace.
Peace.